go big or go home, right? Sometimes you need to take those risks to get those games. Heal trigger, there we go. That's the one. Grom's great. Heal again. That's the second heal. Hey yo, how's it going everyone? Entropy here today with another video. Today we're going to be doing a deck profile on arguably, not even arguably, the best deck in this G-Set 1 format, and that is Kagero's The Cross. So of course with G-Set 1, Kagero got supported one way with the G-Era support with Blade Master, and in addition we also have Overlord support because the end is never ending, this time with some, well, Legion stuff. And not surprisingly, the Cross was meta in the TCG, and it does the same thing in Zero. You don't have all the pieces the TCG had, but it's still really strong. Strong enough that it deserved a nerf, and still topped even with the nerf. So really excited to show you the pre-nerf version in G-Set 1. Honestly, as a player that doesn't play too much the Cross, I'm really excited to see the nerfs in mid G-Set 2, maybe early G-Set 2 if they bring it to global earlier. But for now, this deck is just really amazing. It's a deck that does require a degree of skill, but at its pre-nerf form, I think it's just really oppressive. It's at the same, if not, higher level than something like a Big Bang Knuckle Buster, which was pretty busted last set. I think the difference is that Big Bang Knuckle Buster, you can have a degree of ability to play around it. The Cross, you just are able to do so much just by doing your own game. So let's go to the deck. One fatal flaw of this list is that I don't have AGRs. It's just how it is. I used to be proud that I could bring you complete decks for my profiles. If not, maybe I'm missing one card or two, and it should be not too far off. But in this deck's case, I am very far off because I'm missing one key GR, and I will mention that as we discuss the G zone. Now, of course, the deck doesn't really revolve on striding, but no matter how much BS people can feed you, you need to recognize, I think we're all logical. We all know that at the end of the day, more options, more good options are always better than having no options, and that is going to be the difference between players moving forward, and it's only going to be more apparent as we go along the G era. But anyways, starting with the starter, we play Conroe. Conroe is OP. Karmas 1, retire it, add a grade 1 or less to your hand. It's able to search for PGs, it's able to search other grade 1 pieces that I will mention as we talk about the grade 1s. But as your deck is centered around Legion, it goes to the drop, helps you set up one of your 4 units that you do need to Legion with. This deck does want to Legion as soon as possible, most of the time. So Conroe really helps you do that role. Going back to the deck, and then if you draw into it, you can then search for another grade 1. So it's a really amazing card. Definitely the starter of any Kagero deck, a must-have. We play 4 Gojos. Gojos help you filter out pieces. Definitely really helpful, especially, again, this is a Legion-focused build, so it does help you with those costs and all that, as well as help you unbrick. 4 countercharge PGs, Protect Orb Dragon. We're playing this because the deck does use Karamas quite a bit, so Protect Orb is there. Of course, if you don't have it, you can play the old PGs, but it's just objectively better to play Protect Orb, honestly. I guess you can tech like one of the Vanguard Zero, the original PG, if you are afraid of certain matchups with some YOLO big crit kind of pressure play. But overall, Protect Orb Dragon, these type of PGs, you do want to play them at 4 to make the counter charge more consistent, and there's how I like it. We play 4 of the Lizard Soldier Grom, and this is one of the cases that make the deck pretty broken, and it is one of the nerf targets if you watch my set overview, which came out recently. When placed, Soul Blast 2, Counter Charge 2. Now, Counter Charge 2 is amazing because the end cost Counter Blast 2, so you're basically getting a free, well, kind of free-ish in terms of Counter Blast wise, the end pulled off. When you rewrite the Cross, you can then Soul Blast the Cross and the end, Legion the Cross and the end that was on the Vanguard Circle back to your deck, and then over and over and over again. So because of this, the Grom is also a really great Conroe search target. It's just an amazing card. It makes the loop happen, and it is part of your win condition. And lastly, we have one Lava Flow Dragon. Lava Flow Dragon is pretty great as a stride fodder. You know, you can stride, you know, by just using this one copy. In addition, when you're grade stuck, you know, I do like Conroeing into Lava Flow to search for a Blade Master, because at least I know Blade Master, it's at a 1 of, and at least I know I won't be grade stuck, and it's still a really good card. So it's great. It's at a 1 of. Again, the main winning image of the deck doesn't revolve around striding, so just having it at 1 is fine. You can play around with numbers between Gojo and the Lava Flow, but 4 PGs and 4 Grom is a must for this deck. But Conroe, you know, whether you want to search for a PG, if you like to play safe, Gojo, if you want to be more aggressive in filtering, Grom with your countercharge and looping, and the Lava Flow to ensure your grade 3 or stride as an option. They're all good options. So that's why I think the role of Conroe and having Conroe here is more important than ever. For the grade 2s, we are playing 4 of the Strike-In. Interesting pick, I know, but Strike-In, first of all, if you are going second, means that you're the cross can Legion with the end, and then you can, well, use the end skill and restand with multiple crits as you used to, but on a 22k base instead, which is really amazing. When you're going first, you know, it does mean that your first grade 3 ride is still going to put some pressure, and you can still damage deny a lot of your matchups. Quite popular ones like yourself, you know, the Kagero mirror match, you know, you're canceling your opponent's Conroe, not letting them do stuff and get their pieces. You're damage denying, you know, maybe brawlers, it's still prevalent. You're making sure, well, making them less consistently going to get that Big Man Knuckle Buster, or being able to use that skill on their first grade 3 ride and stuff like that. So I still think that the crit pressure and the able to damage deny is still very, very nice, especially obviously the synergy with the end. We play 4 Bullet Custody Dragons, countercharge. Again, it's really nice. One thing to note is that you don't always want to make sure you get the countercharge. Reason being is because Grom can't use the skill unless you do have a counter blast face down, like a card face down. So if you countercharge everything with Bullet Custody, the next turn you can't re-ride the cross and then use the Grom. So there are little intricacies. Sometimes you want to punish, like you want to just hold off on plussing too much because that could affect your overall game plan. So that is something to be wary of. We play 3 Burning Horns. You could be playing 4. It's just a 12k beater. Before I got my second or third copy, I did play the GB1 when it attacks the Vanguard gets +3, so it's still a 12k beater. The difference is, again, this deck doesn't revolve around striding as much, so you're not guaranteed that every single game you will be at GB1 or GB at 2, 3, whatever. In addition, Burning Horde Dragon just states that if your Vanguard is an Overlord, it gets +3 rather than when it attacks a Vanguard. So in this right now, as of week 2 of the meta, we have some 10Ks as well in the mirror match, Strike-In, as well as Brutal Jack is surprisingly popular. So given these 2 picks, being able to have a unit that hits 12k attacking a rear guard is actually very important. And so I decided to ultimately just craft them, and it has made a difference. So I definitely recommend you pick those up if you haven't already. And if you didn't, you can still play the budget common, but you will notice a difference in your gameplay. Lastly, we play 2 Neo Flames. Neo Flame is really great at being efficient with the counterblast and being able to eliminate your opponent's back row. Again, recently Nova Grappler has been really popular, so killing their starters is very Gucci. You also have what other units are there? There's a lot of starters that do have resist or pseudo resist, which does block up the Neo Flame. But in many cases, I do think that the Neo Flame is still a really valid option. Playing it at 1, 2, or 3 maybe. You know, you can play around with it, whatever works for you. But in general, being able to get rid of your opponent's back row is a very handy and something that I do really like. For the grade 3s, we are playing 4 of the crosses, which when Legion, you can add a card with the same name as your Vanguard to your hand. And then if it didn't hit, counterblast 1, discard the cross to retire 2 rear guards, which is an option you can use later into the game when your opponent's resources are drying up. And it legions with the end, which says on hit, Camelot 2 discard itself to stand and draw 2. So that is always going to be good, especially right now when you're in Legion, you're at 22k, so that's very good. And of course the one of Blade Master that your lava flow can search into. It is inconsistent at 1, but your lava flow can help you with that, especially with Conroe. GB2, really rare, but it does give you crit pressure. When you stride, Camelot 1 to retire one of your opponent's rearguards. So actually in some matchups I do purposely go into the Blade Master, simply because I know outgrinding them is much more efficient and easier for me to pilot as well in some cases, and for heal guards. For the stride lineup, as we mentioned, this is the fatal flaw. Ideally, you want 4 of the Root Flare Dragon, which just wipes out your opponent's column. This card is amazing because unless it's Brutal Jack or something that gives like the whole column like resist, you can bypass front row resist by sniping the back row and destroying the column like that. So it's just a great card. There's no reason not to play 4 because you do need 2 copies in order to proc it like once. So it's just really good. So you should play 4 if you have. And then the last 4 spots, maybe 3 spots, I would be playing Mustafa. But unfortunately, I only have the on hit, which is not that good, but still better than nothing, and the generic one. So the reason why you do want Mustafa is because it gives the deck one thing it doesn't have, which is a front row retire on your first stride. So you will notice that we don't play the Berserk Dragon, we don't have the Dragonic Burnout, and we don't have the Mustafa. So what this means is that, you know, we can't consistently retire the front row unless we're on Blade Master or we have the end in our hand and on the Vanguard Circle. So that is a fatal flaw with this list. So this is definitely something that you need to consider. Mustafa is just really amazing. It gives you that option, and it gives you that counter charge if you're rich enough to have more copies and they're expendable. And even if you don't retire, if you do have 4 copies, right? Just using Mustafa earlier means that you have more counter charge potential whenever you use Mustafa later into the game. So that is just amazing. Of course, I'm poor, so I can't really do that. But as I mentioned just now, because we don't have the Mustafa, something to replace the Neo Flames, for instance, would be something like a Menace Laser Dragon. You have Berserk Dragon, the classic, and Dragonic Burnout. Less so Dragonic Burnout because you don't want to kill off your own Dragonic grade 3 pieces. But the other 2 I definitely think are great options, and you can definitely consider, because you know in some games you just need to get through those intercepts, and unfortunately this exact list will not do that for you. So I hope I emphasized that enough. But otherwise, the deck is pretty straightforward. You start with Conroe, you're going to ride into Gojo probably, and then you're going to go into Strike In, and then you're going to go into the Cross Legion if you can, pick up the end, and then you're just going to swing and swing, and then you're going to re-ride the Cross, and then you're going to use Grom to Soul Blast 2, Counter Charge 2, you toss those Overlords back to the deck, you add those Overlords back to your hand, and then you do the same thing over and over again. If you need to, you know, then you go into Mustafa, and then if you need to again, then you go into Root Flare, and then at that point you probably should have won the game. If not, then get good, and hope you see a heal or 2, maybe, probably. So that's basically it. Let's go into a game or 2 and see how the deck performs. One thing, the reason why I don't personally bring it to the ladder as much is because, well, my clan level for Kagero has been level 50 for quite a while now. I played a lot of Kagero, and I'm a really impatient player. The games take long. You know, you kind of end up doing the same thing over and over again. I feel like that is most of Vanguard Zero. But, you know, there are some more, you know, interesting ideas that I prefer playing around with, you know, like Mega Colony. You know, I somehow ranked up with, I match up with Kagero mirror matches. It's probably going to take like 10, 15, 20 minutes. But yeah, let's see how it goes. People wondering how you get the cross sleeve. That was actually a V-Series promotion. So unfortunately, I don't think we'll get these anytime soon again. But in JP, they were still in the store. So who knows? So here again, I think the grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 is fine. The end, I can always pick up through a skill. And of course, it'll just go back to my hand, so it doesn't really matter that much. We're going first. We got the end in our hand. So, Hip Parade. Gonna ride the Lava Flow. I think I'm gonna ride the Lava Flow. I do want the Gojo for more than one turn, and we are going to use the Gojo here. A greedy play could be just going directly to the end, and it's still on the table. But let's just play chill. You know, I don't want to take unnecessary risks. Just going into the cross is fine enough, and well, the deck is good. The deck is good. So where was I? I mean, yeah, like for me, I mean, there's a lot of meta decks out there that are still performing. Like if you're asking me, like, what do I think is the best right now? I think the cross is really good. I think brawlers are really good, and you know, you have your gears, Jewel Knight, Alt Miles, stuff like that. I think there's a lot of stuff that can actually compete. But I do want to spend more time playing some, you know, playing around with some ideas that I didn't have in JP. So that's where I'm spending most of my time. Hopefully you've had a chance to play a test around different unique ideas, because that's what the G era is all about, possibilities, right? So here I might want to use the Conro ditch, but I will actually use the Gojo first. Let's see if we draw into something. All right, that's fine. I'm gonna Conro into the PG. Gonna use it before it gets retired, one way or another. All right, perfect. We see a trigger, and that's 4 cards in our drop zone. We have 3 Overlords, so we can shuffle them back to the deck. One matchup in the future that you will have to be aware of when you're playing this deck is Narukami, because they do bind the drop zone. So the timing of when you Legion and all that is even more important. So that is something to note. But overall, the deck is just really great. Yeah, I hope you have Mustafa, I hope you have Root Flares, but you can still play the deck if you don't have them, just like me. Alright, draw a trigger with Blade Master, so we're not going to go into Blade Master this game, because we'll play it at 1. Alright, we have the cross. We can ditch one, draw one, but not really important. We can do this. And yeah, refrain from, be careful with the counterblast management. Build up your columns, and that's pretty straightforward, right? It's pretty straightforward. Soul Blast priority, I guess if you do somehow have the PG in your soul, Soul Blast that first, unless you don't want to counter charge. But you know, generally speaking, when you're using Grom, you already rerode the cross, and so you would just Soul Blast the 2 Overlords in your soul, and yeah. So yeah, sometimes you do want to go into the stride. In this case, Mahmoud, it's fine, but you have like 4 Mustafa, and your opponent's not at 5 yet. Mustafa is basically a Mahmoud, but you get 1 extra string to the face, right? So that's just how it is. Alright, using the Grom, interesting, not committing any grade 2s to the front row here, just gonna go ham, and let's see what that means. They do get rid of the Gojo, but if they had like 2 spare Mustafas, it'd just be Mustafa, and then they'd be at GB2, so they could be doing some other shenanigans down the line as well. It's not like you can stride 8 times in this in the modern metagame, right? So we're not gonna stride. We have the Legion. So we're just gonna do that. 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm just gonna. Do I need to call something out? And so last 2 to. So last 2 to. Legion. I'm just gonna leave the grade 1 column. There's it's not a threat. We're just gonna at the end. 2, 4, 6, 7. All right. Let's call this out. swing, heal, put that on the Vanguard, hit over numbers. That's fine. We're gonna rewrite the cross anyways next turn, so the trigger in the drop is fine. It's fine. One thing that you can consider is gojoing the heal trigger, because you are going to be legioning quite often. So I know people want to hold on to it because of discard, but earlier game, you know, you might as well have an intercept or something else that applies pressure, or else you're going to fall too far behind, to the extent that the 115k shield isn't going to make a difference when you get outgrinded. So that is something to think about. So our opponent's at 5. We have 2 intercepts set up. Of course, they can just retire it. They can get rid of the column and all that. They can Legion now at this point. They do have 2 the ends and 1 beautiful SP Blade Master. And there we go. We're gonna see the cross legioning the 3 triggers in the PG back. See what they can do. They're gonna add the end to their hand. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah. Yep, the end. And I know, you know, some people recommend to not use the Conroe for a PG, and I agree in certain matchups. The reason why you won't do that is because I know it's safe, but again, it means you lose out a booster earlier on, or you know, being able to gojo, or you know, just the end, being able to just draw into like 2 cards like that. You will eventually draw into your PGs. So if you play too conservatively, you are influencing your ability to pressure, and that is something that I do find as like a flaw in some of the cross plays. Sometimes you have to make the right move, and being safe rather than sorry sometimes isn't the right move in the game. Sometimes you have to take risks for you know, and respectable risks, calculated risks to go ahead, to get ahead. So here they're gonna use like the ends. Just gonna try to end me here, but we do have 2 PGs and a heal guard. We're probably gonna proc the heal guard. There we go, and that means 1 more heal to shuffle back to the deck. So that's really nice. We're gonna shoot, reride. No stride here. I'm going to Soul Blast 2. Where do I want to put this though? That's the question. Put it behind the Vanguard. Gotta hit those hit through those heal guards. And we are gonna Legion. Toss these back in. Yeah. Wrong. Alright, we already have 1 DN in our deck, which means that we can guarantee us to search for 1. Anyways, we are going to go for a double DN play, and hopefully draw into the Grom, or the cross as well. In hindsight, I think building up that 17k column might have been better. That's a misplay there. We do have the cross, so that is nice. Yeah. How many triggers do we have? We have 3 heals. Come on, we gotta see 1, right? That's the Grom. Don't see the heal in her hand, because that's happened. You know, it's like the game. You know, it's like it listens, but it doesn't listen nicely. All right, we didn't see it. That's fine. Hit the counter charge. Draw trigger. I'd rather put it to the left side. Nice, heal trigger. This way I can take out two heal guards. Nope, I don't want to use this. I'd rather reride. And that's a PG, so no more heals in their hand. At most 1 PG left. Let's see what they can do. They do only have 1 counterblast, but they do have the Grom. So there we go. 1, 2. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. 3 the crosses and 2. Oh, well there you go. math is hard, whatever. Just let them do their thing, and then if we survive, then we win. If they somehow beat us, then they win. We do have 2 PGs. They can get through our intercepts, so that is something to consider. But let's talk about the cross Legion targets. Of course, you have your Overlords that you need to Legion back in order to cycle. You have your heals, because even if you draw into them, they're still heal guards, and that's quite fine. But also, obviously, you know, Conros or the PGs or the Groms to make sure that you can keep up the cycling. Those are very valid picks as well. So do definitely consider legioning those units back if you have the option, and not just forced to legion whatever 4 units you have in your drop zone. They're going to use the end. They can also use Neo Flame to kill out our Grom, which isn't that big of a play, but it's something, I guess. I guess they're going to do it. Alright, good on them. Pew, pew, pew. And, you know, we do have the PG, so we are going to survive this turn because they don't have the kind of last. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. No more the ends, anyways. And let's see how many the crosses they have. 1, 2, 3. They have 1 more the cross left. So let's see what they can do. So we can Legion. We can Legion. Yeah, we don't have the ends anymore, so let's just do that. Here, a Mustafa could be nice, simply because it can cycle 1 intercept, and then we can just go face. But unfortunately, we don't have that luxury. Might not put that many. Actually, yeah, I think it's fine. We're gonna draw into them anyways, right? That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So if we hit the end, use the end to draw into more the end, that would be pretty good. Pretty good. We can extend our offensive. Call it Neo Flame. 12k beater can hit over those 10ks. Yeah, call it this as well, because might as well. Might as well. Heal trigger, that's nice. Vanguard hits 27, so let's allocate it here to try to hit those 26k numbers as well to beat past those heals. We're gonna use the end. We have 8 cards left, so we're gonna draw 2. So let's hope let's hopefully draw into our the pieces that we want. No, the end. Do we kill? I mean, I guess might as well. It's the same situation as they had. We're gonna swing Vanguard first, because even if they do actually have the heal in their hand, we can still hit over that 21. So this way we can hit over those heal guards by having a 26 and then a 20 something, 29 if we see a trigger. And hopefully this is it. They still have 3 heals though. 1 heal left. Because you know, I saw those 2 heal guards come out of the hand and I was so excited, but here we go. I guess, here we go again. We're just gonna keep going through it. We have 4 cards left in deck. We have 1 heal and no draw triggers. I'm quite comfortable with it, but they do get the rewrite, the cross. And my question is, do they have the Groms? They showed 3 Groms here, 1 Grom here, so no more Groms. They can still Legion back the heals though, so they can still extend their life, but they are on life support. So let's see what they can pull off. They're gonna use the Gojo actually. Probably searching for some intercepts maybe. They're out of triggers officially. That's 13, 1 PG at most left. Don't know what they can pull off. Don't know what they can pull off. Maybe they'll like, yeah, I really don't know what they can pull off. Here, a desperate move could be in like a Stride Mustafa. I keep saying this, which, you know, just pains me. Stride Mustafa and just try to go for game and hope your opponent doesn't have guards. But that's not the option they went for. They just went to try to Legion back the heals, and they did add the cross to their hand. So that is something. That is something. But I think at this point we're like 15 minutes in, and you kind of get the gist of the game. It's like the same thing. It's like literally just a mirror match, you know. There's nothing too spectacular here to see. Not much big plays. That's 1 PG, so we know they don't have that PG in their hand, but they do have that 2 heals in their hand. Alright, we drew into our heal. I'm just gonna ride into the cross. No stride. And I am going to wait a second. Yeah, let's do I have the end in the drop zone? I do, yes. And I'm just gonna Legion with 1 the end. I'm not gonna put anything else back. I am just going to take it easy, put some PGs back in, because I think we've got this, and I hope I don't regret it. I hope I don't regret it. So this way, because we don't have the cross or the end on our deck, it doesn't proc, so it doesn't force us to draw 1. We can just put 1 the cross back in for the sake of legioning again, but at this point of the game, I don't think it's necessary. Our opponent doesn't have counterblast to even proc Mustafa, even if they do have it. So we're gonna kill off that Gojo, even though they could potentially misplay and they shoot themselves in the foot. But let's not take that risk. Let's just get rid of it, and we're gonna swing, hit over that heal guard, hope they don't see another 6 damage shield. And the crosses the opponent off the rank list there. I was about to pause just in case they see a heal, and that's it. So I couldn't lose that match because I am showcasing the cross, and both players were playing the cross. So there you have it. We're gonna go for 1 more game and see if it could be more entertaining than watching the same thing over and over again. But that is kind of the gist of the deck, and I feel like that is quite a reason why people might not like it as much. Well, that's the people that aren't playing it probably. But even myself, as I am playing this, I am not, you know, it is a really strong deck. That's I think that I'm just gonna leave it at that. And if you haven't tried this deck yet, definitely do this before the end of the month, because I am expecting some changes to be made in order to make room for some more variety. And one last goodbye to the free-to-play lifestyle, because it doesn't rely too heavily on the strides. So here we go, Kagero versus Kagero. What can I say? This is ladder. This is ladder. Oh well, here we go again. So Grom striking the cross, going first. That's fine. You know, in most decks, ideally you go second. It's because even if you're a Legion deck, if you're a deck, obviously you want to stride first. If you're a Legion deck, obviously you still most of the time you still want a Legion first. Well, that's okay. You know, we still have the striking, we still have the pressure with it. All fine. Though in this case, since we are going first, I am considering counterwing into Gojo to ditch the Blade Master, just to make sure that we have a good pool of cards in the drop zone to Legion, and get our game on. Not using the handle, chaotic. Gojo ride, yeah, that's a good ride. Ooh, new charge. Alright, Gojo into Gojo. Nothing too special here. The lag is special here. Alright, Grom, that's a shame. Don't want to be missing on those Groms. Falling asleep here. Striking. I'm gonna go into a Gojo. I'm gonna ditch the Blade Master, especially since, you know, striding here isn't gonna benefit me that much. Calling out the velocity is actually, it's alright, but I'm just gonna leave it so they can't use the Cardinal 1 turn early. And it's not like we're desperate for that counter charge, the counter blast anyways, so it is fine. So Berserk, again, it's still a really good option. There's a reason why it's been a staple in Kagero for quite a while. Being able to eliminate, especially back row options, but of course front row grade 2 intercepts and get an extra swing to the face is quite nice. So hitting that 14k number and seeing another Berserk, so they still have at least one in their deck. It is funny because you have Berserk like at 2 copies or 4 copies in the trial deck, but the Royal Paladin counterpart, you only have like 1 Blaster Blade, so they basically do the same thing. You have a little bit more uniqueness to Blaster Blade on the Vanguard Circle, but otherwise, it's kind of weird. But anyways, 2 Overlords in the Kagero deck, but only 1 Blaster Blade as well. So, anyways, riding into the cross, getting that crit and all. Don't need to use the Gojo here. I'm just gonna swing. Make sure we get that 2 damage. Draw trigger is very nice here. Heal trigger, that's very nice as well. So there we go. We can Legion back the Grom, the Overlord, the trigger, and the heal. That's a very nice selection of units. And I definitely do think that this iteration of Kagero is probably the most consistent and the one with the most straightforward game plan. Reason being is because the end has always been there. Your Conroe has always been there. Striking and all that has always been there, but you never had a consistent way of being able to search out the end for the Persona Blast. You never had the countercharge capabilities to make use of multiple the retires or the ends in any way and all that. And yeah, so I definitely think that there's this is one of my favorite iterations of Kagero because it does what it needs to do best. You have the retire, you have the Overlord restanding pressure, and of course you also have strides just to make it even better than it should have been. So that's really great. They go into the end, not the cross, so probably missed it. And if they had the counter blast, and if I was in their position, I probably would have went into like Blade Master or something by searching to Lava Flow. But this probably signals that they do have another at the end in their hand, or they're bluffing. We'll see. We'll see if they have that thinking symbol in the top left. Well, this is it looks fine, but it really isn't. It's like that meme. Well, let's see. Yeah, they do have the end in their hand. The question is, will they use it? They probably should, just to draw into more pieces. And if they do rhyme the cross later on, they can always Grom the end in the soul back to the drop zone in order to then Legion it back and do all the shenanigans. So I guess it's fine. It's just that if you could have went into the cross, then you just have to do one less thing. You have a bigger base, and it just makes life easier without having to hope for the sack or hope your opponent doesn't sack, and eliminate that RNG influence to a degree. So seeing the heal, of course they have 4 drive checks, so the odds of seeing a trigger is just higher than us on the receiving end, and that's just how it is. So there we go. We're gonna be put to 3 against 1. We can still play catch up. Of course, we have a lot of cards, and we just started our game. So yeah, all right, we're gonna take that damage. That's fine. Strike into the drop. Is it our turn yet? That's the question. We can also stride into Mahmoud to kill the Conroe. That is an option as well. That is definitely an option. 12, 16, 26. Alright, for the sake of demonstration, we are going to Mahmoud. For the sake of demonstration. So then maybe we can go into Root Flare. So here we go. I am going to ditch 2. Going into Mahmoud, so that we can still do stride shenanigans is kind of the point I'm trying to say. And sometimes if you have dead hands, you can definitely do this more often. We're just building up columns 12, 17, 26. There we go. We're just gonna keep going. And of course you get more drive checks, but I guess it doesn't matter if you don't have that sack factor. We're gonna get rid of the conro, which is a key piece, and there we go. Set up for root flare next turn, which can then get rid of a column for free and swing. So that's really nice. Of course, most times you don't really want to, but you know, especially when your opponent doesn't leave that many pieces for you to, you know, attack as much as you can. Striding just for the filter and that, discarding one most of the time for a draw one, and having a bigger base power to hit over those defensives when your opponent is probably going to soak up some damage is a valid play. So our opponent here is using this really amazing strategy called not connecting. So hopefully they connect. There we go. Finally stood up and drew their card. Draw your last pathetic card. Neo Flames here are very nice. What is this? Ilham when Legion. So I guess because you are still a Legion focused deck, you can consider this. But your Canvas isn't that tight, especially with Grom, so I don't think it's that important. I'd rather be playing more the Zerks or Menace or the Pain Menace Laser. The Perdition Canvas to retire. Personally, but strike-in is still really good. I don't think I've seen the strike-in, or I haven't paid enough attention to know they're playing strike-in. Oh, there you go, strike-in. Speak of the strike-in, but 12k beater I still think is important, especially when your opponent's not committing, which can be something that you will face, especially in the rear match. So here, opponent's gonna Legion into the cross. They still have that one, the end in its soul. You're gonna Legion one the end, so there you have at least two, at most two more at the ends available. They're gonna probably add it to your hand, and they're gonna, you know, hit with ball casting to the face, and then Vanguard to the face. This way they can make some more counter blast plays down the line. But let's see what they can pull off. So if I were them, I'd Vanguard first. I think this is, well, Vanguard first is fine as well, but Vanguard into Vanguard is a definite. But just swinging Vanguard first, you know, gives you more options depending on how you see the triggers. In this case, you only have 3 counter blasts, so it's not like you can DN twice, so it's not a big deal. But if you do have the 4 counter blasts, it is something to consider. Just Vanguard first, see your triggers. If you can see like one trigger, you could consider 15 on the strike-in. That can hit the 11. 16 can still hit the 11, and 22 can still hit the 21. There are some variations. This is another heal that they're seeing, so props to them. Good on them. So yeah, we haven't Legion yet, and we do have a good amount of units here for Legion play next turn. But Gojoing the Mother Orb Dragon, the heal, and Legioning them back in, especially when you're behind on damage. Even though it might seem risky, being able to proc that heal is most of the time better than that 15k guard. It is more RNG, but as you loop through the deck, as you turn through the deck through decrossing, rewriting, de-ending multiple times, you will thin the deck enough that doing that play isn't as risky as doing it too early, and being able to get that heal can be a difference between games. So swinging with Vanguard first, I think this is really fair. Getting that current charge guaranteed, and making sure that you can push 2 more damage, provided your opponent doesn't heal, is really great. One thing is that they can't heal now though, because we're now ahead in damage. But you know, they already healed, so they're like probably content enough that they don't need to take that risk. And they're gonna put us to 5 this turn. I hope not, but it is just how it is. A Grom to the bottom of the deck. Alright, now to Gojo. So yeah, next turn is definitely going to be a Legion turn. We still haven't seen a PG. We do have 4 in the deck. Hopefully we don't see it as the 5th damage. You know, can we please see the Mother Orb? Ah, the PG. What did we just say? Do they have the end? Did they draw into the end? No way. There we go. No the end. No thinking sign. So that is something. Alright, here we go. Lava Flow. Ooh, I can go into Blue Flare, but let's not. I'm gonna Gojo Lava flow. The end. Okay. I'm really scared because I'm at 5. I am really scared. I'm really scared. But go big or go home, right? Sometimes you need to take those risks to get those games. All right, we're gonna decross. Get the end. And we're gonna try multi-attack, get some triggers in, hopefully see some heals, and put us back at least to 4 damage, and try to build up that momentum for game. So I'm gonna add the end to our hand. Hopefully when we Persona Blast, we can draw in 2 more copies. So I'm just gonna rearguard to rearguard, just in case I forgot 10 is smaller than 11. So 1 heal trigger. There we go. That's the one. I hope you know. To me, this is the one I discarded, right? So we're at the end. Discard 1, draw 2. Hopefully draw into a PG. Grom. Oh, Grom is great. Grom is great. Heal again. That's the second heal. This is what changes the game. Oh, they healed. It's like their 3rd heal. It's okay, that was our 2nd heal. We're gonna have the end. The end is never ending. Oh, we have the cross. So we can re-ride the cross with the Grom. That is very nice. So yeah, we do have a bunch of Overlords we can put back and keep looping. So this is our first Legion turn. We can still keep doing that next turn. So that's really good. Good position. We have the heal guards. We have the PGs. We have we're at 3 damage. We can still take some damage. Don't want to deck out because we still have two draws and a heal. But other than that, you know, I think we're sitting pretty fine in terms of the damage count and all. But again, decking out is my biggest worry right now. So I hope we don't deck out, and I hope our opponent plays faster because we're already at 47 minutes. Oh my god! Why do people have to do this? I'm really tempted to just add like a timer, like, you know how in chess you have like different players have like different times, just to compare how long they have to spend lagging, not just thinking, just lagging. It's insane. Just do something, bro. Do something. I'm sorry, I'm impatient like that. Like cross, here we go again. They're gonna do the Legion shenanigans. I'm not gonna go in stride. Strike in. So yeah, what do you think about the meta these days? Are you enjoying the G era? I hope you are, because we're here for the long haul, right? Right, guys? The cross adds a copy of the same name as your card name as your banger from your deck to your hand. We know this. We've seen this like probably 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, almost 10 times at this point in this video. Not calling anything else out. Okay. So I guess they just wanna. They could overdraw. They could overdraw. Draw trigger. I wonder how many heals they would see this game, because they still have 3 available. Maybe their hand is full of heals and PGs. Is that why they're not committing? Or because they're not playing the 12k meters, which I highly recommend. So please do, because one 12k meter here could hit our 11k Vanguard. So I'm gonna use that thinking. Alright, Persona Blast, the end, stand and draw 2. So they're gonna put us to 5, probably. And what is our next turn? Our next turn, probably re-legion, and just keep pressuring. You know, you still have the ends and all that. Oh, that's our protect orb. That's not good. Yeah, put back the heals, put back the overlords, and then we're just gonna loop, and try to go from there. We can also, you know, stride, root flare, get two grade 2s out there, and you know, push a little. Well, let's see, depending on what our position is after this this turn. Do they have another at the end? I think they do. They can definitely do that. And legioning that PG back would be a good option. Oh no, the end. What did they get? Need to confirm. Yeah, they added the end. Interesting. Okay, we're gonna reride. No stride. I'm going to call this Soul Blast 2, Countercharge 2, into Legion. Put the cross, the heals. Do we have a PG? No, we don't. The end. Is it too risky to put the end back to the deck at this point in the game? We're at like what? We're only at a few cards left in the deck. It is kind of risky. Put the heals back. Maybe I go too aggressive here earlier on. I think that's coming back to bite us in the ass. Cross. Just call it off. That's one Koba Dojo. And let's go here. Heal, forcing our opponent to use PG or to heal guards. Draw a trigger. Oh wait, what? No way! I'm more happy. I was gonna say I'm more happy that the game is finally over rather than winning, because we're almost 1 hour into this video and I'm honestly burnt out. No pun intended, but that's pretty good. Oh well. I think we spent more time waiting for them to like actually play. Is this like the meta? Like playing a meta deck that people expect to be long and purposely lagging it out? You know. Yeah, I can see that, you know. I can see that. That's it's like playing 5D chess here, you know. Oh, if you're still watching this video, thank you so much, because I wouldn't even watch my own video to the 53-minute mark. So props to you. Respect. But I think, you know, yeah. At this point, I don't even know. Berserk Dragon, good card. Get rid of that front row. Yep, there you go. Try to go for game. You gotta go for game. You don't have the you don't have the PGs. You might still draw into check into those heals. You know, you gotta go for it. At this point, if I did have the strides, I would go into you know, Mustafa or Mahmoud even, simply because triple drive is nice. Don't have to rely on the counter blast. I can still free up that for later, and just increase my odds of seeing those heal triggers before it's too late. Alright, Neo Flame. What do we have left in back? 1 heal, 1 PG, 2 grade 2s. Alright, they're gonna get that counter charge, which is really whatever. Gonna use the Berserk. The next turn I think is a Roof Flare turn, I think. You can also Legion. But I think, yeah, Legioning is probably the better idea. I don't want to deck out. Let's put the PGs back in. We did have 2 PGs end up in the damage zone, which is unfortunate, because when you're low on damage, I definitely think that that is one of your key primary targets to Legion into. Because it gives you that defense, and you're not going to be triggering or affecting your deck count by trigger checking it. So they're playing the OPG. At this point, I'll turn into an OPG. Too long. Alright, we're gonna use the heal guard again. Okay, let me think. If I Blade Master, if I ride Blade Master, I stride with the cross, I draw 1, so I'll be at 2 cards. If I draw into a heal in my stand and draw, I will stride. If not, it's too risky. Okay, that's a PG. So I'm not gonna stride. I'm just gonna but alright, let's just go into the Blade Master. Let's just go into the Blade Master. We're gonna stride Root Flare to show Root Flare dominance. So we're out of Legion plays, so this is make or break. We know our opponent. Oh no, we do have that heal, so our Vanguard can't swing, which sucks. It's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. We get our G Persona, wipe out that column, and we have 2 swings to the face. Unfortunately, if they do see the heal, then it's over for us because we don't have a column that can hit over 21. And they do see the heal. So yeah, I think that's game, right? I have to check that heal and then I'll deck out. But I can't attack the Vanguard. And you know, they're gonna swing. I'll proc my PGs, and then it's our turn. We draw. We attack with whatever we have. And it's game. I can't even stride anymore. So I'm gonna put myself out of misery right here, and I'm just gonna give up because yeah, I think that's basically it. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. If you somehow made it to this point, give yourself a pat on the back. Thank you so much, Kamui, for supporting the channel and making this happen. Nova Grappler has also started a Twitch showcasing their climb to #1 on the Nova Grappler event. So definitely go check that out. I will be putting that in the description box and down below. So go check that out. And hopefully I get to do some more deck profiles. I want to be showcasing Jewel Knight Altmal soon because that is the deck that I really enjoyed. So look forward to that and stay safe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.